Hey, this is Jerry with On Point Wildlife Removal. If you think you might have critters in your attic like squirrels, bats, rats, or raccoons, give us a call today. We'll come out, we'll take a look, we'll give you a free quote to get them out, to seal up your home, and clean up whatever mess they left behind. We're locally owned and operated, and we're fully licensed and insured.
Well, good evening, everyone. This is Robert with the Space Coast Rocket, and we are continuing our series of candidate interviews with one-on-one candidate interviews with whoever is appearing on the August ballot. This is something we offer at no charge, no service fees, nothing like that, to every single candidate that will appear on the ballot for August 20th for this upcoming election. And tonight we're having going with Palm Bay. And we're going to have Edith Rivera joining us from Palm Bay. She's running for Palm Bay Mayor. Palm Bay Mayor. Good afternoon or evening, Edith. How are you?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm tired, but that's not the thing. So pretty much this is an open platform where it's not necessarily a debate or anything like that. We're just having an opportunity for the candidates to talk to the people, talk to our following, and let them get to know you. If anyone watching has questions, they can put their questions in the comments, and we'll try to get to those questions as well. Just so everyone knows that all the candidates get the same questions from us, and they get those questions ahead of time. It's so that they have an opportunity to prepare to answer those questions, substantively. It's not supposed to be like kind of gotcha questions or anything like that. We really want to know how they feel. And so with that, we will get right into it. And the very first question, Edith, is can you introduce yourself and give us a brief interview of your background?
Yes, thank you. I would like to thank you most of all for this great opportunity. And I would like to thank the listeners that are also taking their time to come and see what I have to say about Palm Bay. My name is Edith Rivera. I have lived in Palm Bay for over 34 years. I have 4 children. My late husband and I came from New Jersey, and we were looking for a place to live at where the taxes weren't high and the insurance weren't high. So we chose Palm Bay. And as of yet, we haven't, well, he passed away, but I love Palm Bay and I haven't moved out. I have a lot of managerial experience. I have worked I went to the University of Florida and I got my degree in food and nutrition and management, which has allowed me to have clear communication. I am well organized. I have the ability to delegate. I can problem solve. I'm a good listener and I make decisions. But most of all, if you were to ask me, you put everything together. I'm a fair person. I'm a fair individual. I'm a strong woman of faith. I value that very highly. I have high ethics. And I love America. I respect our Constitution. And I am a patriot of America.
Well, I mean, I really appreciate, those answers to those questions. And that leads right into the next one is what is it that motivated you to want to run for mayor of Palm Bay?
Well, like I said before, I've lived here for 34 years and I've given my vote of confidence. When you come, people talk to you, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. They're knocking at your door and you give your vote of confidence. You give them that special privilege that has been honored to you by the Constitution. And that's what I've done for 34 years. In the last 4 years, what I've noticed is, in the last few years, I've noticed that things haven't going the way they should. And I figured, you know what? It's time to have a lady take charge of City Hall and run it differently than the gentleman. No disrespect to you, but I want to see things change. And most of all, I want to work for the people. Once you get voted into a position, you're no longer a leader. You are a servant of the people.
And a lot of people don't know this, but the city of Palm Bay has never had an elected woman for Palm Bay. So maybe it's about that time. I guess we'll find out soon. So what are your top three issues facing? What are the top three issues you see facing the city of Palm Bay, and how would you plan to address those issues?
Actually, it's not my issues. It's the people that I'm speaking to. Their issues are wasting money. Also, their infrastructures. And of course, the 2 mills that was brought up a few weeks, maybe 2 weeks ago in the council meeting. That's what's stressing the residents. The first one was wasting money. A lot of people have the perception that Palm Bay is not distributing the money where it needs to go to fairly, and they are mismanaging the funds. I'm going to give you an instance. A lot of the concerns were, well, they're building a new building right next to the city hall. Instead of doing that, why didn't they build a new firehouse? And that's what their reaction is in regards to the infrastructures. But there's a lot of building going on. When I came here, it probably took you 5 minutes to get to where you were wanting to go, to the local stores. Now it's taking you maybe 20 minutes, which also endangers the lives of people when they're called. For instance, the police officers are called and the fire engines are called. It's going to take them more time to get to where they want to, because our roads are so backed up, because we haven't built the roads correctly or taken the time to even look at it. I would be a hands-on mayor. I'm going to go out there, get in my car, and we're going to go and check all these roads. And the 2 mil, I'm for the people. So there would be no way that I would burden the people. I would definitely look into other resources, other funds, another way of getting the money that we need, or do we need it, to help our city grow.
That kind of goes right into the next question, is how do you plan to improve the city infrastructure and the public services that Palm Bay has?
Well, I would like to look into the impact fees and how are they coming about? What are the impact fees? How much is it that a developer gets to pay? There's a book called The Comprehensive Plan. And that book, I glanced at it the other day. I can't tell you I studied it, but I glanced at it. And that is in detail of what we need to do and follow that book. And maybe we need to adjust certain things. And if we just get together as a team, we can build appropriately and properly. For instance, they build a road. I'm not even going to say where, but then they didn't even put a traffic light. Now, does that responsibility falls on the city, or does that responsibility falls on the developer? So those are things that we need to come to the table, put aside all our indifferences, because we're not working for ourselves. We are working for the people, and come together and look at the plan. We may have to go to 12%. And we're going to have to require the investors and tell them what we want. It's going to be a win-win situation. They're going to get the land they want, but we're going to get the things that we want.
Okay. Well, you mentioned teamwork and the people, and it rolls right into the very next question, is how will you engage with and listen to the concerns of the city residents? How are you going to talk to people?
Well, that's what I'm doing now.
Fair enough.
I'm knocking on doors and I'm putting signs up. I'm going to the corner streets with my family, and we're holding up signs, and people are messaging me. I would like to see, though, a citizen engagement panel. It could be 100 people. It could be 150 people, where those people come together, they meet, they collaborate, and then they bring their concerns to us. Also, I would love to see where we can reach the elders that are not able to leave their houses to come to the council meetings. Some of them would love to do that, where we could have a Zoom program where they can automatically give feedback and be heard also. We're here for the people. The people have to be heard. We have to reach out to them, whichever means it takes.
Okay. And what is your long-term vision for the city of Palm Bay? City of Palm Bay is the largest city, both geographically and by population in Brevard County. And we're not even halfway built out yet. So a lot of people have questions about what's the future look like for the city of Palm Bay? What's the compound look like? Are we going to get a downtown Palm Bay? What are your thoughts on that?
I'm going to touch the compound first, okay? I think in order to attract, I think you know that, and the audience may know that, the compound is owned by different people. And I think some of them are from South America, from India. So we have a bunch of people that are holding on to these properties because they're expecting this property to boom and go up to, maybe they brought it at $7,000. It's probably going to go over to $50,000. So they're holding on to this property. And a lot of people ask me also, can they build on it? So right now they can't. And I would hope that Palm Bay, even if I'm not mayor, they would invest their money into putting water and electricity. And that's going to attract businesses. It's going to attract homeowners. It's going to attract industries that then could say, okay, they already did that. There's already electricity, which you can't live without electricity or water. Now we can go ahead and build there. That's going to come out of our pocket, but we'll get that money back in not one time, maybe 3 times back. So I would definitely look into putting water and electricity in there. And your other question, I forgot, sir. I apologize.
It was just what is your long-term vision? So that was the compound. Was there anything else you wanted to cover on that?
Well, in regards to the compound, I'm done with the compound. The police officers go there. We know there've been crimes there. And you know what, most of all, which is really sad, if you think about the last few crimes, they have been done by the youth of this town. And it's really sad. I feel that the community, the churches, the mosques, the schools, the police officers, and the community have to come together and just help our youth. My vision is to see the community come together regardless of your party, whatever you're Republican or you're Democrat, it doesn't make a difference. At the end of the day, we are all human beings and we need to come together to solve the problems of Palm Bay. I would love to see a downtown like everyone else, and I would look at doing it where an investor would come in and they would build it. And then we would want areas where there's green. They would ride their bikes, and the location would be where the investors wanted, because definitely that's what we need. Because I was also thinking, well, maybe if there's a large facility that's been emptied out for so long, but we really don't have a central place where Palm Bay could come together. So I would say a new development would probably solve that. And my long-term vision is for the churches to come together and help the community. Because, and I'm going to repeat myself from yesterday, John F. Kennedy said something so key during his inauguration. He said, it's not what Palm Bay can do for me, but it's what can I do for Palm Bay. And that's why we need everybody hand in hand to come and build this community.
And that seems to be, Edith, a sentiment that's starting to pick up some traction during this election cycle. The concept of, and it's not a new concept, our country's named after it, of unity, providing unity, getting back to working as the citizens and the family that we truly are. Politics in the last few years has become just so divisive. People are just focused on what's your party, and if it's not your party, then I hate you. You're my enemy. You need to get out of here, go somewhere. And it's not about that. It's about celebrating our differences. You know, that's what makes us the most diverse country in the world. So definitely, go ahead.
Yeah, I said something.
Sure.
During my rounds and my walk through the city, that's what I get. So what are you, Republican or Democrat? And I am so relieved that because the mayor runs nonpartisan, it's like I can't tell. I said, well, we just are running nonpartisan, so this is the way it is. It doesn't make a difference what we are; it's what we're going to do together.
Right.
That's cool.
And I get, people know that I've run campaigns in the past, and when they find out that I've run campaigns for Democrats and I've ran campaigns for Republicans, they're like, you got to pick a side. And I'm like, I don't run people for a specific party. I run for a specific people. I believe if you're a good person, that's who I want to support. So I think we give way too much validity and credibility to that R or that D next to someone's name without really looking into that person's character and their values. So thank you for saying that.
Thank you.
How will you measure the success of your initiatives and your policies? So when you get things done, how are you going to decide whether or not that was successful or not?
Well, it's first of all, I keep notes. I have a to-do list, and I've done that throughout my career where I cross them out, and then I go back and look at it and see, did we cover all the areas? Because I have never worked alone. I've always worked with a team. So we'll go back, and maybe today I'm not in the, maybe today I may have a meeting. I may have to meet with a staff member. So I still have designated people where they're going to look at it and they're going to let me know, because I may find myself in a good mood that day and say, boy, you did a good job, Edith. But if I have someone else who's going to say, you know what, Edith, you should have done this and this, we're going to go back to the drawing board and we're going to look at it. And success is going to be when everyone has said, wow, you did a good job, and everyone feels good about it. And it has touched everyone's life. It's not only about me. It's about everyone else.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I know part of the answer to this question just based off of what you've said so far, but what are your core values and how do they influence your decision making and how you would govern?
First of all, I am very respectful, and in turn, I demand the same thing. I treat people with dignity and respect like they deserve to be treated. My mom is an old school lady. She passed a long time ago, and mom said those things she instilled that, and it has been so successful throughout my life that I continue on using those good things. If I know someone doesn't like me, I make sure that I go that extra step, because sometimes we're in a bad mood. You stepped on my toe by mistake. I overlook that. And you know what has given me that? The fact that I'm an older person and I have gained wisdom and knowledge through making mistakes. And now I am able to look back and say, okay, that didn't work. And what counts the most is that I am a pleasant person, that I will respect you. However, I demand respect also.
There's nothing wrong with that. And I think we could all be beneficial to people being more respectful of each other, and vice versa. And it kind of goes into the next question. It's funny how these all lead into the next one, but
you've done a great job when you put them together.
Well, it's not just me. I have a little bit of help, but thank you. This next one is, how do you plan to handle conflicts or disagreements within the city council? Right now we only have 3 people up there, and there's still conflicts, amongst the people, and there's supposed to be differences of opinion because they're representing everybody, and everybody doesn't agree. So how do you handle that? How do you handle, some of those heated moments that, come up from time to time?
It happens in my house with my children. And sometimes my son was crying his eyes out. And then my daughter says, no, Ma, he did this. And I just had to step back and just let them go and let them deal with their own problems. But no, that's not how I handle situations. Everyone has indifferences, and that's what makes us all different. I come from a very different background than you, and we may clash on certain things. And that's what makes us unique. I handle conflict very well. My job has I used to go into, when they used to hire me in positions, was to go into a department, clean up the department from the budget that was really broken. The staff was really upset over certain changes. And my job was to go in there and bring everyone together. You go there the first month, you observe everything, you don't take no action. And then you bring people to the table. And that's what I would do. I would love to hear everyone's idea. And I want you to explain to me, not because, or but I want you to tell me, why are you wanting to change this color to green instead of purple? I want to hear everyone out. And then if there's any discord, we would have to stop that and remind ourselves that we're not here for you and me, but we're here for the people. We were voted into these positions, and we are to hold ourselves in very high dignity.
You're so right about that. A lot of times people don't know what they don't know, right? And until you bring everybody together to communicate and share, the reason why they did this, or why they believe this, or why they think that, that's when you truly understand the people that you're around, by asking those questions and just not making, assumptions, preconceived notions about who they are or what they believe. You got to ask people, you got to talk to people. So great to hear you say.
Communication is always key. I found out throughout my career that communication was key. And if anything, you went into another department, what's going on in here? Oh, communication. So communication is key.
Well, this is sometimes this is a hard question, sometimes it's an easy one, but it's the most conflicting one. Is why should people vote for you over your opponents?
Over my opponents? I am honest. I am forthright. And I also hold myself to accountability. I think sometimes I hold myself accountable too hard. I think sometimes I'm too hard on myself. But when I have a certain responsibility, I really hold that very high esteem. And I think that those attributes that I have will help Palm Bay grow. And also the fact that I am very eager to see change in Palm Bay. There's certain, not everything is bad in Palm Bay. There's good and there's differences, but I believe with the experiences that I have in the business world and the compassion towards the people, understanding that the citizens need to be heard, I can do a good job. And a lot of things is, I'm coming into this fresh and new. So if you asked, let's say, someone else who's already done this job, they have all the answers, hopefully anyway. I don't. I'm going to go in there. I'm going to learn it. But you know what? I'm going to learn it the right way. Not the way it used to be, but the right way. We're going to do things different. And we're going to shine for the people. We're going to leave a legacy that no one had. That people will look back and say, wow, you know what? That year was a good year.
Wait, I hope we can see that someday. I hope we can see that. And maybe it's going to take a woman. It's going to take a woman to come in there and do it. Who knows?
Hey, we know how to clean house. Wait a minute. I don't mean that like that. We know how to.
You got to be careful. You got to be careful.
Yeah, I don't mean clean house like, we know how to put the curtains up. We know if the nail needs to go over there. Yeah. I know how to persuade my husband when he doesn't want to do the drywall. I start trying to do it and he'll come and do it. So that's what I mean.
Get out of here. I got it. Fine. Yeah.
There you go.
Well, Edith, that's all the questions. Cool. The other one is, how can people get a hold of you? Do you have a website? Do you have a place they can go to donate, ask for signs, anything like that?
I keep things really simple. I have a Facebook, and I have the Facebook with my campaign. I have my Facebook with my family, and I have my Facebook with my church. If anyone is interested in donating money, you're more than welcome. My email is onenationundergod.24@gmail.com. That's it.
All right, feel free to add those links, to the comments in this post, and we'll make sure we share this as much as we can for you.
Thank you.
I just want to thank you for coming on to talk to us and to talk to the voters and let them get to know you and open yourself up to them. It's a big thing to run for office, and most people don't realize that till they do. So much respect from me. I wish you all the best, and we're happy to hear from you. And anytime you want to come again, just let us know. We'll be happy to put you on.
Thank you, and God bless America. Thank you so much.
Everyone, again, this is an ongoing series we're going to be doing. We had another interview scheduled for tonight that we also had to reschedule for later. But if you are a candidate, you should have got an email from us giving you an opportunity to sign up to do this. If you haven't, you can just send us a message on the Facebook page or send me an email or call me, text me. My phone number's out there. And we'll get you set up to come on any night that you want. We think the candidates that have participated so far, it's been a great response from the audience, and I think the voters appreciate hearing from you. So we'll keep doing it as long as you keep wanting it, and hope everybody stays safe and have a great night.